In today's video, we will be answering a question that has always interested me. Will Formula 1 ever be equal? For anyone who doesn't know, equality is defined as being equal in terms of rights, status, and opportunities. In my opinion, Formula 1 is one of the most unequal sports there is. So in today's video, I will be detailing what needs to change in order for it to become equal. The first barrier to equality in Formula 1 is the amount of money needed to compete. This was particularly evident when Haas chose Nikita Mazepin as their 2021 driver over the more talented Callum Ilott. However, there are steps being taken to limit the amount of money needed to compete in Formula 1, as a £145 million budget cap has been imposed. This should mean that more talented drivers, such as Callum Ilott, shouldn't fall by the wayside in the future. This brings me on to my next point. The money that the big teams save due to the budget cap, they need to invest in bringing more diversity into Formula 1. Since Formula 1 began in 1950, there's only ever been 5 female drivers to compete in the sport, and of those 5 female drivers, only one, Leila Lombardi, has gone on to score any form of points. And the fact that Formula 1 has been a thing for over 70 years means that it needs to be brought into the 21st century and opened up to more demographics in society. The fact that Williams currently employ the reigning W Series champion Jamie Chadwick as a development driver is a real step in the right direction. However, the barriers are still so great to enter a sport like Formula 1. Not only that, but the fact that Billy Munger was able to win the Pau Grand Prix with specially adapted hand controls, beating the likes of Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson, shows that there could be potential for drivers with a disability in Formula 1. Recently, Lewis Hamilton has expressed his concern about the billionaires club that has become of Formula 1, suggesting that if he wanted to enter motorsport today, he wouldn't have been able to. Another barrier to equality in Formula 1 is the accessibility to lower formulas. For example, to compete in the World Kart Championship, you will have to pay for one season upwards of $100,000. And then, if you're good enough to graduate to Formula 4, that will cost you upwards of $300,000. For example, if we compare that to a sport like football, some of the greatest players haven't come from a rich background. Players such as Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, and many more. And this will be the case in motorsport, so I hate to think of the great talents that won't get their chance in the bigger formulas just because they won't have financial backing. The accessibility to Formula 1 isn't helped by the fact that any young person who wants to become a driver will have to rely on paying for a subscription to watch Formula 1. For example, the most popular subscription, Sky in the UK, in order to watch F1, it will cost you over £43 per month. And this is something that current F1 drivers such as Lewis Hamilton didn't have to contend with, as they were able to watch their heroes such as Ayrton Senna and other great drivers free on the BBC. Now you've heard my opinion on the subject, I think it's time to ask someone whose opinion holds much more weight in this YouTube space. So I would just like to welcome onto the channel Racing Reviews.
Will Formula 1 ever be equal? It's an interesting question, and you would think it's a pretty straightforward answer. Formula 1 is in an impossible situation. Does it want to appease those entertainment, drama-driven fans that love close racing, live for those unpredictable results? Or does Formula 1 want to stick to its very DNA, rewarding those teams that build the best car, that have the best drivers, and ultimately thrive in an environment where hard work, dedication, commitment equal results? This unlevel playing field has always been part of DNA, and I think it is this very reason why Formula 1 will never be equal.
Thank you to Racing Reviews for being a part of this video, and I do agree that the cars in Formula 1 will never be equal. However, I would like to see the barriers that I've mentioned in this video lifted, so there's more opportunity for more people to get into Formula One. Therefore, this should encourage more diversity and equality on the grid. However, when Formula One was set up all those years ago, I doubt equality was even thought about. Once again, thank you to Racing Reviews for featuring in this video, and I will leave a link down in the description of where you can find his channel. And if you've enjoyed today's video, then please feel free to like, share and subscribe, and comment down below whether you think F1 will ever be equal.